Life is a race. We are all runners. Some know where they are running to, but others run for the sake of just running. If you are one of those running for the sake of running, there is a book here that's definitely going to help you, titled The Life of Purpose, written by MANYOR. He is my guest on today's edition of the book with me, Susan Bell. Hello and welcome.
Thank you, Madam Susan.
How?
It's an honor being with you.
Okay, how are you doing today?
I'm great, super great.
What are you in life?
Manyo Saint is an individual that is focused on self-discovery, leadership as a youth leader, and alongside he deals with monitoring and evaluation, that is project management.
I was asking you this question because I just wanted to find out from you whether you think that what you're doing in life today is the purpose for which you were created.
Okay. That question is a heavy one
Okay.
because, as you see on my book, The Life of Purpose, later you see a journey of discovery.
Okay.
So purpose actually, as Miles Morrow will say, he said, is the original intent for the creation of a thing. And for you to discover that which you were created for, you need to go through a process. That is why I said a journey of discovery.
Okay.
So I am in that process in discovering that which I was created to be.
Which therefore means that you've not yet discovered that purpose for which you were created.
Yeah.
Okay, then that's fine. Now I want to find out from you, living a purposeful life, what does it entail?
Purpose is what gives you meaning. It gives you direction. It makes you to be resilient. And it brings fulfillment. Why do I say direction? Because once you are on the journey of purpose discovery, you tend to focus on specific goals. You have a vision. And meaning in that, because you are focused, you have that tendency to know that your life is following a certain train, and you don't move from one area to another. That brings a lot of confusion. And resilience in that, because you have specific objectives, because you are focused, you become determined because you want to achieve these goals.
Okay.
You don't longer pay attention to distractions.
Okay.
And it forged that person in you.
Okay.
And when I talk of fulfillment, is that when you are doing something you love doing, something you are passionate about,
Okay.
something you can't sleep without really doing it. It makes you feel like you are meant to be where you are.
Okay.
So that is what purpose is all about.
Before we take a break for the forward, I think it's time for you to tell us what the life of purpose, a journey of discovery, is all about.
The life of purpose, beginning from its, you have rhetorical questions. I will always start by the rhetorical questions because those are those questions that are burning, and they indirectly don't really have answers.
Okay.
But you may find answers to them if you go in search of those answers. So questions like, why am I here? What am I here for? Why was I created?
Okay.
Of what use am I
Okay.
on earth?
We are so glad to have Ndinga Harrison Tafeli on standby for the forward of this edition of the program.
The Life of Purpose by MANYOR is a practical and inspiring guide for anyone seeking clarity and meaning in life. As a book sui generis, this masterpiece is there to let readers to understand that the notion of purpose is not merely a dream, but an achievable goal. This book presents two problems that we face in life. This, on the one hand, as fear, and on the other hand, as procrastination. The book has gone to the extent of putting forward solutions that readers can use or practice to counter fear and procrastination. The first of these solutions is the notion of personal vision statement, alongside learning from others and the fact that we need to turn our curiosity into purpose. This book is honest, and with the numerous advice in it, it is simple and easy to put in practice. With the Life of Purpose, when read, we'll discover that as a practical guide as it is, this book, being a book sui generis, is there to guide us to live the life we are meant.
You're welcome back, and of course you're watching the book with me, Susan Bell, and my guest is MANYOR Boo, who has written The Life of Purpose, a journey of discovery. In the quest for a life of purpose, what are the do's and the don'ts?
The do's when it comes to purpose discovery. First of all, I will start by letting every individual to know that you need to desire to discover that which you were created for. You need to have the right mindset, because it's a journey, and a rough one indeed. Because along the way, people will tell you what you're doing isn't your call. People will tell you this won't give you money, whereas purpose is not about wealth or riches. They will tell you what you're doing is not worth it. And you need to have that mindset of a warrior, that mindset that keeps you standing no matter what comes your way. There are times you will fall, that is true. Denzel Washington said there'll be times in your life where you're going to mess up. Yeah. You will suck at something and you will be disgraced. So you really need to be that kind of a person that can pick his or herself up and say, this was a failure, but tomorrow is brighter. So I'm going for it, and I will keep going. And when we talk about the don'ts, you don't need to copy. You know, a lot of youths are copying others today. A lot of youths are living other people's lives. Well, when I talk about that, we look into our Cameroonian context, and it also happens in other countries where parents oblige their children to live a life that they would have loved.
They were unable to achieve.
Yeah,
yes.
They would have loved to live.
Yes.
So since they couldn't achieve that, they want their children to do that. Meanwhile, these people are different from you. You are their parent, but these are two different identities. So they need to focus on their own identity, their own personal development, to find what they were called for.
Okay.
Exactly.
Now, there's also this aspect which you mentioned in the book that I actually found very, very interesting. That that in order to discover your purpose, you should be able to understand that there is a difference between purpose and passion. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes. You know, passion is what you love doing. That thing that you are good at. We can even call you an expert when you're doing it. And on the other hand, purpose is that meaning, fulfillment. So passion alone is not enough in finding purpose. Why? Because passion is based on what you know doing best. But are you fulfilled while doing that? That is when purpose comes into. It's just an aspect of purpose discovery, but it's not all about purpose discovery. We have other things that you need to put into. You need to volunteer services. You need to give back to the society. You need to learn from mentors. You need to mingle around successful people. So all that together helps you in finding your purpose in life, because purpose is fulfillment.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's very interesting. Now, it's time for us to have a Vox Pop, and we were very concerned about this issue, and we wanted to find out from people what they think about it. We asked them, do you believe that mingling with successful people can equally make you successful?
I believe so, because if you think in your mind that what they are doing is right, and you copy their footsteps or copy their examples, then and do the exact thing they are doing, then you also do the right thing.
It can make you successful, because when you copy good example, you can push yourself ahead. That is the truth about life. If you are moving somebody who is progressing, you follow the person's way, you progress.
To an extent it's possible, and to another extent it's not possible. Your determination matters, because you can tap the grace from the person who is determined, because you might be beside somebody who is successful and you put in your mind that the person's success is your success, so you don't work towards it. But when you're with a person who is successful and you make up your mind to be like that person, you may work harder, and based on the way you work, the person might decide or might find a way to help you grow, because he has seen your determination and your hard work.
If you are the type that learns, yeah, it's possible. If you work around with successful people, you can copy their ideas, their ways of life, maybe the way they manage their income, the way they interact with people, their friends, their ideas can equally lift you up depending on how you interact with them.
You're welcome back, and if you're joining us, then you're watching The Book with me, Susan Bell, and my guest is MANYOR Mbu. He has just published The Life of Purpose, A Journey of Discovery, and that's what we are looking at today, how to discover your purpose. You just heard, people reacting there to our Vox Pop. Do you really think that mingling with successful people can make you successful as well?
Yes, of course. Mingling with successful people actually can make you successful. You know, there is this tendency that when you get into a room and people are frowning, you tend to be contaminated by that energy.
Really?
So, yeah, when you just get in and everyone is silent and frowning,
yeah, you're
like, what's going on? If you were smiling, you start frowning. In fact, you just cease smiling.
Yes. Yeah.
And on the other hand, if you get into a room
and people are just laughing,
yeah, and you were coming maybe with negative energy and you were like pissed off somewhere, and everybody's smiling, there is a high probability that you will tend to smile, even though not laugh, but smile.
Okay.
Even if it's for 2 seconds. That's just to say that energy contaminates. And when you are mingling with successful people, they will tend to impact you positively. You will tend to learn from their process. You will tend to understand the opportunities they took advantage of, their challenges, how they overcome their challenges, and how you can position yourself in their means and benefit from the resources they have. So these people will challenge you and you will become a better person.
So they're going to serve to you as a role model.
Exactly.
Wow. I like the way you put it. You also talked about a vision board, which is very, very important, and equally the mindset. Yeah. How do they play a role in, making you discover your purpose? What role do they actually play? Your mindset as well as the vision board, which you mentioned in the book. Let's begin with the mindset.
Yeah, the mindset is a whole lot. Why? Because the mindset is what determines the success of every individual. Today, we are faced with a lot of adversity, diversity, and challenges in the world. So, for you to be successful or for you to overcome challenges, you need to have the mindset of a warrior. That mindset that no matter what happens, you know that you can still get up, you can still motivate yourself and pick up the pieces and go for that which you really aim at. And this has a role to play with the vision, because we talk about mindset and vision. Having a vision board is actually putting, let me make it this simple, an area where you need to reach for you to know that you have done something. Sometimes it may be too high, but the vision, that is why it's a vision. Many people won't understand your vision. Why? Because it is you and only who is the vision bearer. And since you are the vision bearer, you are the only person who understands that, and you are the only person who can attain or explain it better to people.
Okay. Which means that if you want to become a medical doctor, you should put it on a vision board.
Yeah. Sometimes you should write a letter to yourself.
Okay.
Because as a person,
And keep reading the letter so as to be,
exactly,
so as to get used to the idea.
Exactly.
Okay, then that's very fine. Time for us to have on the shelf. And what are we picking from the shelf today? Find out.
It's something that affects us in writing. I'll even take it from the journalistic perspective. Once you are used to long and winding sentences, it causes a lot of problems. First of all, you must have a habit, if at all you're writing a story, you're writing a script, to even write short and simple sentences. If at all you have to write long and winding sentences, you have to use punctuation. They prefer you to have some breaks. When you're reading, you want to say, okay, it's true, it's an idea you're trying to capture, but you have to break them because it gives a breath, it gives some stop, so that you don't have this block of information you're putting, and then somebody is like struggling to capture what you're saying. When you don't use punctuation, obviously it's confusing. So punctuations, they permit you as a cardinal point in terms of grammar to know that that's how language is structured. So you write without punctuation, it says nothing, it makes your work to look very, very shabby and unprofessional. So embarrassing if you read the book, on the first page, you start seeing grammatical problems. That's why it's not a single initiative. In a project, I take a case in the same command that I cited. We had to hire the service of the renowned Martin Jumbam, to review the book. We had to give it to other people to do a critique so that they go through. You may proofread and you think you have proofread. Give some other neutral person who's an expert in the domain to proofread, to avoid issues of punctuation. It could just be nuances, it could just be some coinages. At times you use words, they will tell you no, provide footnote to describe what you must have said in pidgin or in a local language. Some of those things, and then they make for a very proper, rich document that goes out there, because it's a book of reference. So you don't want to just send out anything that will be rejected. So your book has to be different from every other thing. And like every music or like every initiative in life, it has to be different. So in writing a book, let command be there. The next book they want to see, it's another concept. There may be a link, but let each of your product be distinct. Okay, it's like putting to life a new baby. So your book should be like, you have this new child you have to put to life. So the child must have a name, the child must have a purpose in life, and the child must have something that is unique from all the other children.
Thank you for watching the book with me, Susan Dow, but it's not over yet. We still have a few minutes to go. Why is it important to work towards living a life of purpose?
Living a life of purpose It's very important. In fact, it is one of the prior things you should desire in life, because it helps you have direction in life. It helps you create connections and a community. It helps you to be determined and oriented. Why? Because once you find that which, or once you are in that journey, when I talk about connection and community, it means once you start creating impact, because one aspect of purpose, of something that can help you to find purpose, is giving back to your community. Once you are giving back to your community, it doesn't mind, maybe through charity, through teaching others whatsoever you have to teach them. It gives you that sense of community, and it makes you to desire to do more. And creating connections, the people you will meet in this journey are people who are going to impact your life for life. They are going to impact you, and a sense of direction. It means you have a specific goal in life. You may fall, but you remain on track. Falling and coming back, that is just how the circle goes. You need to fall and you come back. And
because that fall is an experience.
Yeah.
You learn from the fall.
You learn from the fall.
Not to fall back.
Not to fall back.
Okay.
And that same position. And fulfillment, which is the ultimate, because a lot of people are chasing wealth. A lot of youths are chasing wealth, riches, and they are influenced by a lot of things, social media and all. But purpose discovery is not actually wealth. But on your journey of purpose discovery, you're creating value. And once you are creating that value, it's going to bring you the fame, the wealth, and all what you desire in life.
Okay, thank you. I know that those who are watching are quite interested in the book. How do they grab a copy?
Okay, you can grab
Quickly tell us how.
You can grab a copy. I will give you the number, 670 64 80 98. Or you can call 682 59 89 72. Yeah.
And is it affordable?
Yeah, it's affordable. A copy is £5,000. We also have copies on Amazon. You can get a copy on Amazon. You just type The Life of Purpose by MANYOR.
Yes, I know that you are writing another book, and definitely when you finish, we're going to have the opportunity to talk about it on this same set. Well, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you. It's always an honor being with you.
And of course, thank you for having inspired those watching us today. Well, that is it for today. I give you an appointment, same time next week on this same channel. Bye-bye. I love you. Mwah.